Yeah.
Which one? Yeah,
It's less for them to
I mean,
haul.
County Commission to order, please join me in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move right into the agenda, approval of the minutes.
move to approve.
We have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
You want to add some? This is
This
just.
is just a minute.
Thank you. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I have two things to add after talking with the state's attorney, if that's okay with everyone. One is just an update and discussion on the opioid lawsuits that we're a party to, just so we can have some additional information. And then the other one is the one I talked with you about yesterday, Jeff, approval hopefully of a legal opinion for the North Central Housing Authority from the Ramsey.
Okay.
And Mr. Chair, I'd have one more thing to add to the amendments, if it's all right, and that would be a discussion on employee leave for the Christmas time period.
Okay.
And so I guess I can second his motion if he's willing to add that.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the amended agenda as
Okay, second.
stated.
Any other additions? If not, a motion to approve the amended agenda. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved. Mr. Fieldson.
Yes. Well, first off, our furnace and our sign shed where we house the Devil's Lake motivator quit. And I got two proposals, one from Lake Region Sheet Metal to replace it, Lake Region Sheet Metal for $2,975. And one from Clemens Group for $2,525. So I'll just be looking for a motion to start that little bit.
Move to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the low bid from Clemens Roots to replace the heater furnace. Any further discussion? Not all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved.
Yeah, our second item there is Soper Construction gave us a bill for the gravel that we hauled into our stockpile in the shop yard there. 1,000 yards and the cost was $14,550.
I'll make a motion to approve paying the bill for gravel.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve paying the bill. We paying this tonight?
Yes.
Roll call, please.
Wakefield,
Aye.
Lightcon.
Aye.
Brown.
Aye.
Fritz.
Aye. Motion carried.
And that's more of a heads up for now. I think I just found the extra money to buy that full load of cutting edges. I don't know if we need to change our original motion, but when we pay the bill, we could just make a new motion, however you want to handle it. The new amount will be $34,500 for the full load.
When do they get here? Are they already here, Cal?
Nope, they're not here yet. I told them I wasn't in a hurry, so.
Do you have to read the date for them?
Oh.
How did the original motion read? Andy, do you recall?
Should have been just the motion to order them for $17.
Was this for the split?
Yeah, exactly.
Let's wait till we get
Yeah,
them,
to approve the purchase of half a semi-load cutting edges.
let's wait till we get them, and then we'll put a motion to pay for them.
Just so you're up to speed, and I don't know.
That's fine.
Never know, we might quit making them.
Will that come out of this year's budget? Will they arrive before then?
Yes, it will.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, with steel short, I mean, it's a good deal, so able to find money, we should take it on. Next, thing I got is, we got a new contract for the, engineering on Ramsey County 3, the extra work we'll have to do through lot, or, not lot, handed. And that amount is an additional, I think it's the right page here. $11,727.40 to add to our contract that we have already.
11,727.
40. 11,727.40.
So this is just for the engineering portion of doing all the additional work of having to lay everything out and,
The additional
design work. Okay.
for handicap.
Yeah, topographic stuff, we have to do all the GPS work and all that.
Yeah, for about a total station, but we can use for that, we need tighter grades. That's what we need the DD around. And then we also had the paving up to the curbs too, that wasn't, what we originally figured on doing was just doing a 24-foot road path and 2-foot slots all the way through. And then we added the rest of it.
Do you have the full dollar amount as a result of that change, that addition?
32,311.
Move to approve.
Second. Just wanted to follow up on, do you have any luck with the rest of the street, that getting inputs from the other, business?
I haven't had a chance to talk to John here, something I gotta do yet, but I did talk to the city. And they're willing to throw in like, they could afford like $2,000 and all, so, I mean, that's where we're at there, and
Okay.
we don't wanna.
No.
Yeah. Like we can ask them to chip a bunch in and then they're not gonna have anybody anyway, so. Might as well just cover it.
There's some businesses along there that, in North Prairie, you talked to that, right?
It's not.
That's the center.
Yep, right, Mark, right. And I will talk to John Deere also. But I haven't done that.
We have a motion?
Yep.
The motion would be to have the chairman sign this, so.
Motion and a second to approve the chairman signing the change order for 11,727.40 for the engineering on Ramsey 3. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Okay, and the last thing I have is, just for information more than anything, we put one of those, blinking signs up on Ramsey County 2 and 4 intersection there, they flash 24 hours a day. But, Richard Frith actually paid for that, he's got some children and grandchildren that travel that road a lot, so he paid for it, it's like almost $1,700 for one of those signs, but he was willing to do that. We will end up doing the maintenance on it now, but just so you guys are aware of it, there's a new, one of those blinky signs there.
Right, how we do?
County road too.
County road too.
Where it tees at the end there next to Fritz. Are there any other places that it would be beneficial maybe for us to look into putting those on? Like maybe on the end of 8, so on both ends there, especially, well, there's township roads on the other side, I guess, but.
We can certainly think about it.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
it's
expensive.
They are, but I mean. It's good to warn people.
And it hits 3, huh? No.
Yeah, where 8 hits 3 on both sides coming from Webster and the other way, that'd be beneficial.
There's been a few accidents on this particular
Yeah.
intersection. Well, one death.
Yeah.
So,
And Ramsey 1 and 57 out there.
No, Ramsey 2
No, I'm
and,
talking.
oh, you're saying another spot, okay.
Another spot. Might be, I think everybody's used to stopping out there, but
that's probably our highest traffic intersection.
yeah.
That one's lit though, isn't it?
It does have the overhead.
It's got overhead light.
Yeah.
They seem to really help.
Well, that's something we talked about too, about putting the overhead light in with the battery power that solar's up and stuff, would not be a bad idea too, if we can maybe utilize some funding.
All of our county intersections with state roads are lit now, but
Yeah, it'd be nice if we could do that on the county intersections.
Down there on Highway 2 in the Prairie Corner, you know, they have one on the north side and south side.
Now, they are beneficial because you
Yeah.
see it so far ahead that
Yeah.
you just get you in the mindset to stop.
I think the drivers get used to, okay, this is gonna be a high traffic intersection when they see those lights. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And you see them around other places too. That's a good idea.
Something to look into.
Don't cost much.
And the state's paying for the electricity on those ones. That's the thing, we probably have the electricity bill on a county intersection, but I think like the one on 1 and 57, we do pay for the electricity there, it's like $11 a month.
Yeah, well, work with that.
So what was the request on this?
Just information, right?
Yeah, it's up now, it's up today, so,
Just in case we drive by there,
yeah, it's like,
I
wow.
wonder what the heck happened.
Good.
See him, I'll take him.
That's all I have.
Anything else for Kevin? Thank you. A few more minutes before the annual foreclosure sale. Did you want me to go? Have a quick minute for the opioid, since that's probably under old unfinished business.
Absolutely. Well, so I gave you all a packet in front of you here. I'm gonna try and explain it as best I can in layman's terms. There's a lot of lawsuits going on. I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands, millions of lawsuits. And if you'll remember a while back, Attorney General Stenjum sued one manufacturer, and that lawsuit got dismissed. Basically, we were left scrambling to make our claims against the other pharma companies, and that one went south. So we have claims out. We have some represented through a law firm, some private. It's kind of a mix of both. And what they have done, instead of trying to have 200,000 lawsuits, they picked a cross-section of communities from across the United States. And they're having those lawsuits in Ohio right now. And what this is, the defendants are starting to talk about settling and paying out to all the subdivisions that they possibly bill. They're trying to get an accounting of who they owe, right? So the Attorney General's office wants us to sign up, because the more counties that they get to sign up, the bigger allocation to North Dakota will be. This is separate and distinct from our lawsuits, our claims that we have on our own with our own lawyers. It's my opinion that it's a good idea to sign up for this portal and get our name on the list, basically. I think of it like an insurance policy. If our claims that we're going on our own don't pan out, we still might get something. But I want to set the expectation. It's going to be a very small amount based on the number of people asking for money from the lawsuit. Essentially what they're doing is restructuring their company, and they're going to be giving a certain percentage to the subdivisions that they owe, and then those subdivisions will get a small payout every time a payout happens. So it might be $15, $130, not a lot. They just don't have the assets to possibly cover what they've created. But this is a good opportunity for us to basically put another hat in the ring and say, you know, if North Dakota gets some money, Ramsey County wants some of that money too. So I would be asking for your approval to sign up for this and monitor it on my end. Any questions?
Yeah.
Moved and seconded, I would go ahead and sign up for the North Dakota opioid portal.
Just one question. Do you know when we started this? Do you remember?
Years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, it's been
5 years,
Uh,
3-4 years at least.
I was on the commission when it happened, so it would have been longer than 5 years ago.
3-4 years.
Three or four.
But that portion of it is the one that is still ongoing, because that's Purdue Pharma and the other ones. This is simply Johnson & Johnson and their distributor company. Well, Janssen is Johnson & Johnson and their distributor companies, Kesson and Cardinal. So there's still additional lawsuits ongoing, but
Yeah, there's so many companies out there and then all of their shell companies underneath them and their manufacturers and distributors and Canadian arms and the long story is this is gonna be playing out for the next 30 years.
Okay. Motion and a second, any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Sounds good. I will register tomorrow and do that.
Thank you.
Second,
We don't have one.
sale time.
Do you need a motion to go into the sale, or is it just, okay.
We used to go out.
We just need one at the end
Just
to.
entertained by the bidding.
So we will start off the annual foreclosure sale on the property. And I guess we'll start right up at the top with the parcel in Ontario Township. Would we like to read the parcel number, or we want to just, anybody here
Does everybody have a list?
everybody have a list from up there? It's-
I don't have one.
They're right by the door.
Okay. We'll read the parcel number for clarity and make sure that it's parcel number 22-0000-0665-2001. Commencing at the northeast corner of southeast quarter, less outlot number 22-0002-1954-62, 154-62. Minimum sale price is $750. Do you have any bids? 2 bids, 3 bids, 4 bids? Okay. I don't know if we've ever had the opportunity to increase that.
Oh, yeah.
800? Okay. Anybody else for 800?
Oh, 9.
9?
12.
2,000,
2,000?
25.
3,000,
3,000?
35.
4,000,
42.
$5,000.
5,000?
You can have it.
Anybody else? 5,000 going once? Going twice? Sold? Young man in the back, your name is
Matt Young,
Matt Young.
well, it's all that, hope they all sell like that.
that's how they know.
Right?
I'm done now, don't worry.
Okay, no.
You might find another steal, you never know.
Yeah.
Prairie City, parcel 38-0302-09394-002, lot 1, block and 4, block 10, Prairies West Edition, minimum sale bid of $200. We have a bid of $200. And $200, do we have a competing bid? Anybody? Going once, going twice, 3 times, sold $200. Your name, sir?
Matthew Davidson.
Matthew? All right, thank you. Devils Lake City, parcel number 39-0000-00012-0012-000. The east fifth of lot, east 5 feet of the south 100 feet, lot 16 and 17, lot 8. Yeah. Minimum sale price of 21,000.
The green grass next to Anytime Fitness.
Where'd you like that?
It's the green grass next to Anytime Fitness,
Down the road here.
the house that
No building.
got, the city tore the house down. That's why it's,
No building.
Anytime it's,
yeah.
Anyone bidding on that property? Anyone bidding on that property? Anyone bidding on that property? If not, no sale. We'll move on to the next parcel. It's Devil Lake City, parcel 39-000 -00261-000, lot 7, block 34, minimum bid of 5,100. We have anybody bidding on that property? Anyone bidding on that property? Anyone bidding on that property? No bidders on that property. Edmore City, next item on our list, parcel number 40-08-01-09-688-000, beginning at the southwest corner, then north block 26.5. Is that home edition?
Home edition. Yeah.
All right. $250 minimum sale price. Anybody bidding on that lot?
Yeah, City of Edmore,
City of
Sharon
Edmore?
Marcus, auditor.
Okay. Anybody else competing bids? Anybody else going once, going twice? Sold. Sharon, thank you. Lawton City, first item up is parcel number 42-0000-10038-001, lot 16 and 17 of block 2. Minimum price of $350. Anybody here for the opening bid, $350 on the first item in Lawton City? Anybody here?
Make a deal today, huh?
No, by the whole city of Lawton.
Not much there.
Any bids on that first lot in City Lawton? No bids? Moving on to the next one.
Same one we had last year.
42-0000-10063-000, lot 13, block 5. Anybody here to bid on that? Anybody here to bid on that? Anybody here to bid on that? No bidders. Lot 18, block 5. 450, is that right? Anybody here bidding on that? 450 minimum bid. Anybody here bidding on that? Lot 18. No bids on that. Lot 19. Block 5, Lawton City. Minimum bid of $450. Anybody here bidding on that? Any bids on On lot, was that 19?
Mhm.
Lot 19. Any bids? No bids, we'll move on to lot 20, block 5. Any bids, lot 20, block 5, lot and city? Any bids? Moving on to lot 21, block 5. Same opening bid, 450. Any bids? Any bids on lot 21? No bids. Lot 22, block 5. Lot 22, block 5, lot and city. Going once, going twice. Where we at, lot 20, lot 15?
15 block 6.
Lot 15, block 6, lot and city. Same opening bid of $450, lot 15, block 6. Any bids? Lot 15, block 6, lot and city. Any bids? Going once, going twice. Moving on to the next one. Lot and city, lot 1, less the west 10 feet of south 160. Block 3, East Lawton, minimum bid of $350. Any bids?
I will.
Okay. Any competing bids? Minimum bid was $350. Any competing bids? Going once, going twice, sold, Mr. Davidson. $350. Thank you. Last item on our list is, lot and city, lot 6 through 10, block 9, Stoltz's first edition. Opening minimum bid of $1,900. Any, bids? Lot and city, lot 6 through 10, block 10, Stoltz's first edition. Going once, going twice, sold. I mean, not sold. This will complete our foreclosure sale.
We just need a motion to accept.
I'll make a motion to accept the results of the foreclosure sale.
Moved and seconded to accept the results of the foreclosure sale. Any further discussion?
Just so I remember this right, now that this has happened, everything that was on there can be purchased basically at any time, right?
Mr. Young?
Do we pay now or after the meeting, or what do we pay, send us a bill or what?
Can you come see me tomorrow?
I can,
Just
yeah.
depends on daycare, I guess.
You wanna take a
I can pay it
I
now.
was gonna do it now, but.
10-minute break?
We can take a slight.
We'll take a 10-minute recess, so until the auditors are back.
Yeah. Just taking care of. Well, when we do the audit and stuff, you know, Nathan usually sticks around, but I don't think he could today.
When is the vehicle?
Whenever we get enough vehicles to sell, usually.
Fair enough.
They sit until we get, what, probably 10 or 12 of them, and then we do.
So was that the second one? Was that champion?
Yep.
Good, I thought, but I couldn't get
25. Wasn't there one at one point, it just disappeared?
It's right here on this side of the courthouse.
Call the meeting back to order.
Okay.
Did y'all take care of it?
Yep.
Bo, did you have anything further on the opioid, lawsuit?
Just,
We made the motion and we decided to go ahead and join the sign up for the portal.
yeah, just, it's gonna take time, so
Yeah.
anticipate that it'll take a lot of time.
Well, and we signed up for that other one, several years ago.
Haven't heard.
Yeah, right.
That, I think that is part of this. The lawsuits that the county is currently seeking is against an entity called Mallinckrodt Pharmaceuticals and all of their subsidiary companies, their Canadian company. This is Johnson, I believe, but go look in your medicine cabinet, any one of those brands, I'm sure there's a lawsuit against Bayer, Pfizer, AstraZeneca.
Right.
And
Well, the reckoning has been more than 2 decades in coming, so.
yeah, I don't anticipate that they're ever gonna truly put the cost of the problems they've created.
How could they? You'd be talking orders of magnitude more money than they first approached the county, they could put 6 lawyers. Here.
Yeah.
In the room.
Oh, yeah. They're doing that in every county and city commission across the United States. I'm sure that they have a team that's just dedicated to driving around North Dakota.
Well, they should drive on through.
Guys are making their living off of this deal.
Well, it's
Public entities are getting $1.
as big as the tobacco thing was, and that made several law firms buco bucks.
Yeah, I have a feeling that this is gonna follow that kind of same path. And then just so you're aware, we are represented by Schneider Law Firm out of Fargo. I know you contracted with an attorney out of Dallas.
Right.
That Dallas firm hired Schneider and Fargo to kind of be a local counsel and be a local point person, so we don't have to try and get through to them in Dallas all
They more likely sold a piece of the action, is probably what.
Probably. I've talked to Mac, who's the attorney on the case. He says, for now, just keep doing what we're doing. When there's news to share, it'll be shared. So.
Very good.
Okay, other unfinished business, the ARPA committee. We had Commissioner Whitebond and our auditor, and was it Commissioner Wakefield?
I don't,
No, just me.
Just you?
We left at the situation of, me talking to people to determine who we'd like to put on it.
Right,
I feel like a kid that didn't do my homework, but I've thought about this a lot. Not that I didn't talk to people, but my question to the commission as a whole is, what are our priorities gonna be with those dollars? Because I think the committee needs to be dependent upon what we deem the priorities should be. So if we think we wanna spend the money on maybe building upgrades and things like that, then we should focus the committee to work on the building upgrade, the Roger and maybe Steve, and cause we're gonna talk fixing whatever in the building, so we should focus the committee on that. If we're looking at another focus, then we should try to focus the committee with individuals that are more expertise in the area that we want to put into it. My question, the only reason I bring this up and saying it is that it doesn't make a lot of sense to me that if we don't have a priority focus from our position, that we're gonna spend it on, I don't know, helping the ambulance service or something like that, for instance, that we have our building management on it, because we'll just be essentially wasting our time, for instance. Whereas in talking with Chair Frith yesterday, I think, at least in my opinion, if we're gonna get our most bang for our buck, we should probably focus on our facilities first and then go out from there with the money that's remaining. And then we can decide what our priorities should be. But I really think we should staff the committee based off of what we as a commission think the priority should be. And I don't have a problem, again, but I just wanna, I don't wanna appoint people until we know exactly how we feel we wanna do this.
I think it was the next day or 2 days later after our last meeting. I was listening to the radio or something, and Grand Forks County awarded some of the money.
Mhm.
And they give some of the essential workers some money. All who they awarded this money to, I'm not sure. I'm sure we could give a list of how much they gave. Sure, that's public knowledge, so.
Yeah, they came up with some type of a system to determine who was essential and then they gave, a bonus structure. I think that might be beneficial as well.
Get some information like that. There's gotta be other counties that have done the same thing.
I'm not trying to punt on my duties here, but I just thought about it the whole time thinking, I don't wanna waste our staff's time
Right.
on something that maybe isn't their area of expertise. And I think we sit here and go $2.1 million, but I think it's gonna go a whole heck of a lot quicker than we think it's going to. I just saw, and I'm not saying this for instance, but I just saw before I sat down here in the Grand Forks Herald that they did an ADA upgrade at the Amtrak facility in Grand Forks and it cost $2 million. So I don't think our $2 million is gonna go as far as we think it's gonna go, is what I'm saying. I think we could probably, almost in all honesty, find, I'm not saying we spend all of it here, but I'm saying we could probably find $2 million worth of upgrades to our facilities if we really, truly wanted.
Well, I know that that's true, and I also agree that that's a good place to spend it. I also had the chance to talk to Chairman Frith today, and my thoughts on it are that we likely should choose, because you've already got 3 of 5. We already know what they are, right? It's 2 commissioners who are going to represent the commission's priorities to the committee as they sit on it, right? And so I'm not worried about the commission's priorities not being represented on the commission. And then Candy is also on it. So then really you're only discussing about 2 people. And when Commissioner Frith and I were talking back and forth, I felt that the 2 people that would make the most sense to, well, actually one of them was Jeff's idea, so I won't take all the credit, but that we use our economic development people. And so it would be Brad Barth and Sandy Shively to be the other committee members. And in a way, they're kind of generalists and they're good at doing that kind of cost benefit thinking that we've all discussed, or at least I feel is important to have. And I agree that it'll go very quick, but to me, they would make sense as committee members. And just to make sure that I had my I's dotted and T's crossed, I did ask Brad if he was nominated, if he would be willing to sit on this, and he said absolutely. So
I do like the concept of somebody that has, that is kind of removed from it, looking at it. That's not bad. Again, it depends on, I'm not saying we have to set in stone our priorities, but I think it's good to take the temperature of everybody on the commission to know that we're at least kind of all on the same train of thought before we start. Because I guess I look at it this way: if we're going to do building upgrades, for instance, we're not going to want to piecemeal it. So if we're going to do a building upgrade and we're saying, okay, we want to do this and this and this, then we're going to have to hire somebody to look at what it's going to cost instead of just saying, well, we're going to spend $20,000 on this and $10,000 on this. If we're going to do a full upgrade, then we're going to have to figure out what we're going to do and actually do it right. So
We need to take our time.
yeah, I mean, we want to be as move as quickly as we can, but be prudent and make sure we make good decisions. Because the longer, we don't want to wait until 2020, the end of 2024. But at the same time, we got to make sure we do it right. Because our buying power is, with the inflation, is going down by the day. With every, until we get the money. But at the same time, if we're going to do any kind of large scale building upgrade, it's going to, we're going to have to bring somebody in that knows what they're doing and project manage it essentially. Now, I don't know the scope of what we want to do, but this stuff has been rattling around in my head.
I would sure like to see what Grand Forks County did. So
They gave $2,000 to their essential employees. And I think there's, limitations on what we can do up to, I think it was $13.25 an hour additionally, up to a $25,000 max.
I believe in talking with Rhonda yesterday, she said Rowlett County did a similar thing, except it was a higher number, but I can't remember, it's escaping me what the number was. But they gave us additional.
And it was, not everybody was deemed essential, which, I don't know, may hurt somebody's feelings along the way,
Well, I'm
but,
sure that's gonna happen.
you know, well, what do you mean I'm not essential? So, you know, there's that, but I have no problem doing that either.
But I think, you know, the one thing, and we keep bringing this up, and I get slightly confused every time, because it's not like this commission is ceding any authority to make decisions if we set up a committee.
Right.
Right, all that the committee will do is collate, tabulate, and figure out some things that they can bring to us, right? And if, for example, it's decided that the benefits are the highest if we do a courthouse renovation, for example, right? Then I presume they would have to come to the commission and say, hey, we'd like to hire an architect or spend county dollars to get bids on this project, and then we'll come back to you as we sort of work through it. But it's not like we're gonna cede complete control over the thing. So I just wonder why, if we going to empower a committee, why we don't just empower a committee?
I don't disagree with you at all there. My point is that it's only beneficial to the committee to allow them to do their work in a timely manner, that at least they have an idea of what the commission's looking for and a focus. Because otherwise they might bring us an idea of something that we're not looking for at all, and then we've wasted everybody's time. That's all.
But on the flip side, and so I mentioned this to Jeff, if you give too much direction, you might miss out on an idea that came as a bolt from the blue that is the best bang for the buck that nobody would have thought of. I'm not saying that's likely, but I'm just saying it's one of those things where, to a degree, I still think your two commissioners and can be sitting on there representing the interests of the county and the courthouse, for example. That's all going to funnel through anyway, right? And if the committee meets, that will be discussed, I'm sure, during the commission meetings, during portfolios, or during whatever, and you're going to get real-time feedback as we continue to meet. So
Did you visit with Sandy?
That was me, and she was unavailable.
Okay.
So I had left her a message and I haven't heard back from her. Yeah, she was.
Would it be reasonable to table this for one more meeting, and then we could have those discussions if that's okay, and then maybe seat it at the next meeting if that's all right? I just want to make sure we don't empower a committee with somebody that doesn't want to be on it.
Yeah, that's what we decided last time. We're throwing out names, but we didn't wait to ask them yet.
One more thing to keep in mind is, let's just say it's a courthouse renovation. Well, the other 52 counties are gonna do the same courthouse renovation. That's gonna tie up all those renovation contractors.
Yeah.
And the prices are gonna, so the quicker you can act, I think, the better.
There's no question, there's like 1,000,001 reasons to go as quickly as is prudent.
Yeah.
But
We just don't, I just don't want to, like you said, I want to make sure that we go through a good process so we don't miss out on something that maybe we're not even thinking of that would be a really good use of the money out in the community. But I think it's only reasonable to, try to at least look at our needs here first, because it's a one-time opportunity to do it where we don't have to throw the taxes on the back of, of the county and the community.
well,
For things that we probably have to have done anyway.
right, in terms of project types, I'm sure that you and I pretty much agree completely on the types of things that need to be done, but I guess I'm just disagreeing on process to a certain extent. It's not that I want something different.
The other person along my thought process was, tourism. Susie Kenner was the other person, and she was willing to sit on the committee if we so choose as well. We could bring somebody else in from, whether it be agricultural community, water, those, along those lines, you know, we could go all over the gamut if we'd like, but, you know, I think sooner the better is always a good thing. I think, getting that committee together and seated would be a start. I still think that there's questions that are gonna arise that how can this money be properly spent? And I think we really have to make sure that our I's are dotted, our T's are crossed, that it falls within the guidelines set forth by the Department of Treasury, and that list hasn't been finalized yet. But we don't want to screw that part up and have to pay that money back.
No, we don't wanna do that.
No, we gotta make sure we do that right. Well, and that's why I think it's prudent that we go through the process as reasonable, so Candy can then talk to the experts and double check and make sure we're doing things correctly.
We haven't found experts yet.
I've sent emails.
I thought you were gonna try to or
Yeah.
not getting back, well, she's probably got 10,000 people trying to get over.
You've sent emails to,
There was a gal at the,
oh, that would lead us through this?
like convention
Oh.
that she was crisp, like she
She's from the National Association.
She could answer almost anybody's question of doing different things.
Can we?
She knew everything just off the top of her head, and I've sent a couple different emails, but I mean, I'm sure, you know, you got 53 counties and, you know,
The whole United States.
yeah, like how many other are, you know, sending emails?
Yeah, she's probably got thousands of
Yeah.
people flooding her inbox asking for help.
Yeah.
Is the Association of Counties thinking maybe in the state that maybe they would have a point person that maybe would help out?
Our associate, like the Auditors Association, we have discussed about like having a point person.
Yeah. I think that's
Are
reasonable.
they out there? Is that type of person there? Nobody can answer that question.
I don't know if the association's got that person either.
It's just, I mean, every county in the state is getting money and a decent amount of money. It only makes sense that we should have somebody that we can make sure we can just bounce stuff off of.
And every auditor is responsible for
Yeah. We don't want you to go to jail, Candy.
it. No.
Not for $2 million.
I think we gotta make sure we get this right. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that in my mind, and maybe I fail to understand exactly what everybody else is imagining from a committee, but that this committee would collate the various asks and to include input from as many segments of the community as want to be engaged, right? So if there's something relating to alert.
Oh.
No, I just hit my watch.
If something related to agriculture is important, or water, or whatever, just because there is not someone on that committee doesn't mean that I don't think it should be valuable to hear. And then at that point, you could, once you've gotten this list of the different asks, you'd start by saying which of these is a legal use of the money, right? Then which of these is likely to have the highest and best outcomes, and then you take that and you bring that to the county commission, who then looks at the list of the things that, you know, we know now are legal to use the money on, and we see in, you know, in what way they're ranked by the committee, maybe with some final thoughts on why they're ranked that way, and then we can make a decision. That's.
Did you say Susie would be willing to do it?
She would. Sean?
Is this from FEMA or was this from?
American
US
Rescue.
Treasury.
US Treasury.
US, but it's not out of FEMA?
No.
Okay.
Not whatsoever.
I
I'm
think,
meeting with them tomorrow, so I was just wondering.
Oh.
if I
Yeah.
can ask a question while I have one-on-one.
Yeah.
I think it would be beneficial to have somebody like from tourism, you know? I mean, because there might be some uses out there that we could use it on, you know, whether it's like preservation or additional access points or something like that might be, plus, you know, we've had Susie on committees before and she's been really good to work with, and always had really good input.
Well, it's very interesting to me, when Grand Forks County was advertising, or not advertising, but telling the media what they've done this summer.
Mhm.
And I think we gotta feed off other counties and what they're doing. And if they're doing it, then evidently it must be legal, we hope. But we gotta find out for ourselves too. So, but we've gotta be careful and go, you know, slow, I think. You know, yeah, we might miss out on a good deal on what renovations we wanna make to the courthouse, but gotta make sure it's right. And the people of the county are in support of it.
This probably goes without saying, but just want to remind everybody, who promises that, oh yeah, we'll get you on the list or anything like that.
Yeah, okay.
Because then we can get into a lot of problems on, well, you promised us funding to our township roads and now we, you know.
Well, that's one of the main reasons why I think it's appropriate to not have it be in this body, so that promises like that, you know, cannot be made in any capacity whatsoever. Just to you, Commissioner Brown, because I want to make sure I understand about going slow, do you feel that empowering the committee to begin looking at what the different asks are is going too fast? Or are you just talking about spending the money itself? Because those are two different things in my mind.
Well, we need to have ideas on what to spend it on to see if it is legal. And if it is all right, yes, we need some ideas. I agree with you there. But what directions are we going, you know? I'd like to know what else Grand Forks County did, other than give some essential workers a bonus, basically is what it did. Because they all got their paycheck. You know, and the jail was involved in Grand Forks County of getting essential pay.
Yeah, well, and I think stuff like the law enforcement center, you know, in terms of maybe facility upgrades or something, if that qualifies, might be a beneficial use of some of the dollars too, but it's all things that we need to look at.
Right.
I think a lot of theirs went towards the water treatment plant. In Grand Forks.
Yeah, they're gonna spend a bunch on the water, yeah, they're gonna spend a bunch on the water. The city also was receiving some, I believe, and they're spending a bunch on water treatment because of, the possibility of that large, plant coming.
I don't think we have any problem getting that information from them, Boulder County, whatever other counties that are made some decisions on what they're doing, then we can look at that. And the committee can look at it first, give us their recommendations, let us look at the other counties and what.
That's, well, that would be a job of the committee, once it's empowered, to pull those other counties and put it
Give us
together
some
and
ideas.
kind of give some ideas to the commission. Well, we've discussed a lot, so.
Yeah.
Is it okay if I make the motion that, I would make the motion to finish filling the committee. I'm already on it, so myself, Susie Kenner, Brad Barth, and if it's okay with Commissioner Wakefield, he seems very interested in Commissioner Wakefield on it as well.
No, I feel I can't second, so.
I'll second that,
I just want to get it moving
just
along.
so we all.
I think we're all on the same page in terms of what we're
Get the
looking for.
information.
Right.
So let's see what other counties are doing too.
Yeah.
You know, how they're, maybe they're not setting up a committee, maybe they're setting up a 12-person committee, I don't know. But let's find out what everybody else is doing, let's try to.
I
Learn
think
from that.
read what Cavalier did is they set up a committee of their commission and then a couple of their smaller communities within Cavalier County. So everybody's doing it a little different.
How much is their figure, right now?
I don't.
Oh, Candy as well. Sorry, Candy as well.
Well, unless you want your name to be signed by that.
You and I were already appointed at the last meeting, so you're not out of it, no. In addition to Candy and myself. I think it's just a good cross section. Brad's with the business community, Susie's on the tourism, we got a commission presence, we got our numbers expert, and I got a little egg stuff going on.
Right.
So,
It's a good mix.
good mix. Further discussion? You're okay with on that committee?
If it's fine with the commission, it's fine.
Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. And now, just as an open meeting, open records reminder, that committee would have to follow all those guidelines as well, since it's a committee appointed by the commission.
I'd also like to clarify, that committee does not have spending power,
Right?
Yeah.
so.
You mean I can't buy donuts?
No, it's just like any other committee, you have to bring your
Right, I mean, it's
recommendations
no
back to
different,
the
it's no
board
different than
to.
the home rule committee, right?
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Well, yeah, we don't need any spending authority.
well, I guess we budgeted the home rule, but still, it wasn't like the home rule committee, you just got to sign checks on whatever it wanted.
So, okay,
Perfect.
perfect. Thank you very much for agreeing to commit to that, and we look forward to your next report every 2 weeks.
We better get this thing moving.
I'm just kidding. But maybe at our December 7th meeting, we can have a timeline of when you guys would like to meet and how often you'd like to report.
Yeah, I think we'll have to get a preliminary meeting together and sort of set expectations and talk about what the best way to figure out how to do what we've been empowered to do. And then we'll be able to report that back.
Perfect.
How about if I send a group email?
I think
I
that would be
do like
great.
that, can be fantastic,
Wonderful.
as always.
Thank you.
Everybody gonna read the 151 page interim final?
151? Try 450.
Well, that's the interim final rule.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that, yeah.
I'll get started tonight, Paul. I'll report
Yeah.
back.
I got through about 3 pages while it's in there.
And then you fell asleep.
Yeah.
Any other? Okay. New business site authorization.
Second.
Moved and approved to approve the site authorization. Further discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
They're just having to fill out a new one because of new ownership.
Sure.
That's all that is for that.
Those Reds.
Yeah. Review the letter we received from the city of Devils Lake. This stems back from discussions that we sent a letter to them. They in turn sent one back to us. Do we want to digest it, act on it? Do we just want to review it?
Well, I think we gotta involve Rob Johnson for one thing.
Yeah.
See what he wants to do, and I visited with him today, and he's all right, just putting it off for a while, and I don't see any need to meet with him right now.
Okay.
We've got enough things going on at the jail, so.
Yeah. Okay. We'll, let them know that we take it under consideration. Rescind the burn ban. This is a formality, should have been done,
So,
yeah.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we rescind the burn ban that's been in place for quite some time.
Quick question, just really quick. And maybe I failed to understand it when we first put it on, but I thought the reason we tied it to the fire stages was because that way you wouldn't have to constantly be putting on and taking it off.
Right.
I mean, doesn't it sort of take care of itself? I mean,
Hypothetically, it should, but
it's fine with me to repeal it. I just thought that was part of the reason we switched.
I think it's
System.
on the books.
I think it's reasonable to empower it every spring and then rescind it every fall, though, because when we do it, then it gets put out that we've put it back on again and that this is how this, it's just a healthy reminder, I guess. I don't have a problem rescinding it.
No, I'm not claiming that I do either. I just felt like when I saw that we were rescinding it, I thought, well, gosh, I thought the reason we attached it to this was so that it was not a.
Well, and there was no end date to it, and there was, it did go by the burn levels or the fire index levels within the state categories. I think it's something that a lot of counties have done throughout the state is they either had an end date to it, it was gonna end at a certain date, or they had something that their emergency management brought into their county commission to rescind.
No, that's fine. I just wanted to clarify that, and that's totally fine. So I'm content.
So we have a motion and a second to rescind the burn ban. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The holiday schedule for the courthouse. I think it was on the news and it was quite the buzz within the building today. that the city had decided to give their employees the Thursday before, which would be, so Christmas falls on a Saturday, Christmas Eve is Friday. And what the city had done is decided to close all day Friday, Christmas Eve, and give their employees half day off on Thursday, the 23rd. Whether or not we want to follow suit, or I thought it'd be a good idea to follow discussion. So I asked Commissioner Wakefield to go ahead and go ahead and put that on our agenda. I guess in recognition of how hard our employees work and the dedication that they have, I think, even a full day on Thursday, the 23rd would be okay.
The city did a half.
The city did a half.
Just out of curiosity, what's our normal policy on it? Do we always give full Christmas Eve off?
No, usually it's a half day, but since Christmas itself.
But they always get Christmas full day off and then a half day on Christmas Eve.
Right.
And you know what Lisa says about it, because people come pay taxes, they go at the end of the year, they come and pay it before Christmas or not. Generally,
It's in between.
it's in between.
Yeah.
Okay.
And generally, what you see is people take that full day, if they're going out of town, doing traveling, have kids at home, different things like that. Sometimes that half day isn't the most productive of days, and that's why I guess I thought maybe a full day would be, give a little extra to all the employees. In recognition of the hard work that they do on a daily basis, and a little bit of our appreciation. But I'm open for,
Well, at the very least, we need to give them a half day because they're getting shorted that essentially because of Christmas going to Saturday.
right,
It's the same thing as the city, let's leave it alone. I don't know. What do you think, Candy? You're close to everybody. Help me out here, will you?
Like Jeff said, that, that half day, people, you're gonna be a skeleton crew anyway,
Take time off.
because there are ones that'll just take the 4 hours and, leave 1 or 2 people.
I'll make the motion that we give all the employees, the full day off on the 23rd.
I'll second it.
moved and seconded that we give all employees a
Should deal with the 24th also, I mean,
That's in.
That was already part of
That's
it.
already in
Yeah,
there.
that's already in there.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas clear, right?
Christmas observed.
Yep.
Is the 24th. John,
That's already got that off.
I'll wait till after.
okay. Moved and seconded, any further discussion, Kevin, you okay with that, I suppose, unless it snows?
Yeah.
Right,
She is right though, they take the half day vacation.
Right. yeah,
So we're basically letting people save a few vacation hours.
yeah.
That's fine.
We'll just use them a different day.
Yeah,
That's okay.
so, okay, any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion approved, buildings closed the 23rd and 24th.
Thank you.
Yes.
We were gonna do a Christmas party, right?
17th of December,
Yes.
Friday before,
Yes. Like
commissioner
a
breakfast,
right.
commissioner department heads.
Right, and we agreed to that, and who is gonna help with that? Was that us? You and I were gonna.
I don't know who's in charge, but I'm cooking, so.
So let's
I can't
talk,
cook
let's
if
talk
need be.
after the meeting, make sure we know what we're.
Yeah, let's
what we're doing,
coordinate.
That's only a month away.
I told Candy we need a party planning committee around here, so.
Or the committee to plan parties.
Yes, the committee to plan parties.
Like the office. Yeah.
Um,
I think we still have one thing unfinished.
Well, Sean, did you have anything you wanted to,
New business, excuse me, unfinished.
unfinished new business or
New
new
business.
business?
Yeah, it was just the one thing I put on legal opinion for the county, for North Central Housing Authority. I say it wrong.
Yeah.
I'll explain a little bit of what we're looking for here, as quickly as I possibly can. The North Central Housing Authority has administered the programs, Section 8 as well as public housing for Towner County Housing Authority for a number of years, as well as Section 8 for Griggs, Nelson still, I believe, Cavalier, and Ramsey. HUD is saying that we need to have a new contract with Towner County because they want them re-upped every 5 years. Previously, it was just we put a contract in place, we gave it to HUD, it was no problem. Now they're saying we need a legal opinion that the county or North Central Housing Authority has the right to enter into that contract. I ran it past both. Basically what they're saying is, HUD won't give us any information as to what we're supposed to have, where this legal opinion is supposed to come from. Our executive director, Tim, and myself sat down and visited about it. We figured the best thing for a legal opinion to come from is, since the county seats the members of that board and appoints them, that the county is basically then saying, we're okay with that board entering the contract. So we're giving the right for that board to then enter into those outside contracts. It's all under North Dakota Century Code, but for some reason HUD is saying they need this legal opinion now, which they've never needed in the past. So that's why what you have in front of you is in front of you.
I'm gonna piggyback on it. So that's step one, is getting the commission to approve it. Then step two is I'll basically write a letter saying, I believe the commission acted lawfully when they did this. I am gonna put a fly in the soup though. If that's what you wanna do, given that committee, more or less, the authority to make decisions, that flies in the face of what we were just talking about with York. So.
Flies in the face also.
Because if you're giving them, your appointed representatives, the ability to make decisions, and you're not giving the ARPA committee the ability to make decisions, that creates problems.
Does it?
Well, how so? I mean, we have all kinds of committees that are outside committees that we appoint commissioners to that make decisions. I mean, whether it's the law enforcement center, whether it's the
Right.
social services.
It'd be a carve out specifically giving certain powers to a certain committee, but not empowering every committee to make every decision, right? I think.
Just for your information. I mean, that's how it can.
And I'm not saying that HUD is going to be satisfied by this. We're not gonna know until we give it to them, but they won't give. Tim has been hounding them to say, do you have a format for this? Do you have a base letter? This is what you're looking for from whom? And they just won't give them any information. So we said, well, the best we can come up with is the county seats the members on that board. So essentially that board is acting on behalf of the county. So let's have a legal opinion that says the county's fine with us entering into a contract with Towner County because we've done it for years. And Towner County's commission is gonna have to do the same thing in saying that Towner County can enter the contract.
Well, is there a way to word this that we're more specific than, following that legal line of argument, just so that we don't end up with this problem? Is there a way to make it specific to this committee to have this power, instead of just being the fact that we seat them? It's we seat them for this task and therefore they have the power. You know what I mean?
So, as I understand it, there's not a lot of funding that goes through what was formerly Ramsey County Housing Authority. None from the commission.
None from the county.
Everything's done federally. So what you are doing is not giving them the ability to spend, but the ability to
Allocate.
service the contracts that need to be serviced. You can sign off on this, but you can't go, obligating the county for millions of dollars.
You're not spending county.
Well, and that's why I looked at this from the aspect of, I didn't think it's any huge deal simply because there's no dollars following it. It's just saying that
They can make.
we empower that decision-making process to that commission.
And I reviewed this memorandum, Brad, I think it's sufficient.
Do we need a motion?
Yeah, we need a motion just for the chair to sign it.
So,
Second.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second for the chairman to sign the memorandum of understanding for North Central Housing Authority. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
I will have Tim stop over whenever we get all the paperwork done for you to sign.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else under new business? I don't think so. Visitors and delegations, Sean, you've been more than patient, just listening. Well, thank you for attending. Sorry I missed your award ceremony today.
There was quite a few people. I apologize for the late invite for everybody, but they're all from out of town. This is the only day they can all be here, so.
And refresh the commissioners on what that was. It was,
It was 5 civilians pulled somebody out of a burning vehicle. They were on, the person was actually on fire. And they pulled them out there, extinguished them before anybody arrived. The guy still alive. It's a local resident still alive. So we gave them as all first responders in the community. The 6 agencies gave them all the Civilian Life Saving Award. And North Dakota Hydro gave the Colonel's Coin and Governor's Award for life saving.
Very good.
It'll be on the news tonight. And I think Fargo was down there and Airtark was there. There's a few others. It was a lot bigger than they thought. They'd only planned for a little bit. They had to run to Levers real quick and buy some more appetizers. Boxes.
It's a good problem to have, though.
Yeah,
Good
it
problem
was.
to have.
We went from the conference room to our garage, moved all out, and it was
I saw her on Facebook, so.
well, good. Thank you. Appreciate that and appreciate the life-saving efforts of our local citizens. So kudos to them. Thank you. Announcements. Meeting tomorrow, aquatic invasive species, information and prevention, meeting tomorrow evening at the, I think we'll stick with the Armory tomorrow. I think I've asked Mr. Moe, our GIS individual, to help us stream that on the Ramsey County's YouTube channel. Get the information out there to as many people as possible on the prevention of introducing aquatic nuisance invasive species into our waters here in North Dakota, especially the importance that recreation fishing tourism has to the lake region.
Who's speaking?
Ben Holen from North Dakota Game and Fish, he's the ANS coordinator. He will be there along with one of his assistants to give a presentation and answer any questions. This is something that Rich Breckner, North Dakota Sports Fishing Congress and member of the state ANS committee, has addressed the commission about several times. And we were hoping to get maybe the director of Game and Fish up, but there was a conflict in his schedule, so we'll have to address that at another time down the road. But hoping to get as many people there publicly as possible. Commissioners, we sent out invitations to our local legislative delegation, the District 15 guys. We've sent it out to media, we've sent it out to the Angler Association, Tourism Chamber, sent it out to their mailing list. So hopefully we're looking forward to a big crowd. It's a big deal and something that Game and Fish can't handle on their own. It's going to take a lot of individual effort to combat aquatic invasive species into our bodies of water. So asking everybody to please attend and bring a friend. So tomorrow evening. We've had this discussion several times before, so I won't go into a lot of the detail, but If you can help them, great. If not, send somebody that you know would be interested in it. Whether you live or recreate on the lake, or whether you turn on a light switch in your home, everybody is affected by introduction to aquatic nuisance species. So, spread the word. Anything else for announcements?
You're going to finish this discussion on the employee breakfast.
Employee breakfast. Commissioner Wakefield, do we want to cater that in, or do we want to?
I think it's more fun if we cook it. I mean, I'd say, I think it had a good reception that we were out there cooking, and if Commissioner Lightfon's willing to do it, I can make some mean eggs.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we could have some scrambled eggs, and we could have some egg bake, and we could have some sausage,
Yeah, maybe even pancakes.
maybe some pancakes.
I think that'll be just fine.
Figure it out.
Yeah, here's my plan then,
That's and sausage okay with you guys?
do you have some?
Yeah.
Wanna bring some in?
Contribute that, and that'll be great. What I will do is I will go to the store probably the day or two before and pick up what I think we need. And I'll collect that and make sure we're not doubling up and whatever, but if you would contribute venison sausage, that would be great.
Yeah.
And then I'll just plan to be there early on in the morning, and we'll figure out what we need to cook down there.
We'll knock it out like we did this time.
Well, I talked to HR Director Brian Singer about spreading the word, getting department heads involved, and department heads would be willing to maybe help prepare, serve.
Absolutely, we'll take all the help we can get.
What
So
time we set it up for, 8?
we want to do that at 8. We want to start at 7:30. We want to.
I think you previously said get served by 7:30, so that way if people wanna
Come in
Yeah,
early.
come in
Yeah,
early before they
that's
get to start their day, they
totally
can
fine.
too.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
And you also have to put into factors that it's winter.
Well, I mean, I think I'm willing to be there as early or as long as it takes. It's
Maybe
not-
to start preparing, it should be like 7:30.
Well, maybe like 7. I
Or, yeah.
probably want to be here to start preparing about half an hour early, just to make sure you got enough made.
Don't worry, I'll come in at 5, give me a key.
There's a grill downstairs.
Well, there's stove tops, there's ovens. If you want,
I'm not old, so like-
electric frying pans or something like that, you're gonna have to bring your own. So.
We'll get it figured. The logistics of that I'm not too worried about, but
Logistically, we can figure it out.
And I don't know if
It's a pretty smoked sausage.
very good.
None of that skunky deer in there.
I don't know if
We're gonna have to label each of them.
Real food.
I don't know if
We're
we're.
talking about food myself over here, they're all like. Look at them.
Okay, we'll get together as a commission and department heads and we'll figure out the logistics of Friday the 17th.
Perfect.
For our employee appreciation breakfast.
It's not ready until 8 o'clock, and we'll have to wait.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
Food's ready when it's ready.
And what else we want to serve besides eggs and sausage?
Well, yeah, I think we can have that discussion in a less formal way, since we're not actually spending the county's money on it.
Well, that's something nobody likes, like muskmelon and stuff.
Yeah, so.
I don't know if we're doing portfolios or anything, but I just wanted to announce that at the last district health meeting, Al McKay tendered his retirement notification. So I think he's due to retire in February. He gave us a long lead time. I think it was something like February. I'd have to find the letter again, but I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware that in the near future, district health will be looking for a new administrator.
Well, sorry to hear that, but well-deserved retirement. So, anybody else? If not, adjourned at 7:05 PM.
Hit your game. There you go.
That's right. Can't avoid
It's
that.
not official until the hammer hits.
Chickens, right?
I have